Thanks.
What attracted you guys into a horror world in the first place for both of you?
Into the horror genre?
Yeah, into the horror genre.
I always love being scared. I mean, it's just there's something visceral about it. I mean, it's the most manipulative genre. And you know, if you're doing it right, it causes a physical reaction in an audience, and it utilizes all the fun toolbox of cinema. So I think for those reasons.
Yeah, for sure. There's something fun about scaring people. I guess it's kind of sadistic, but listening to an audience scream and jolt in their seats or cower in fear under their hoodie, it's really gratifying. You know, as Adam said, you really are manipulating the audience, and you see the physical evidence of that manipulation in a way that you don't see as much with, say, a drama. You know, oftentimes with a drama, someone might really be enjoying it, but they're just sitting there stone-faced in the theatre. With a horror movie, you really
there's
see
an interaction.
the fruits of your labor.
They interact with the material, right? And it's interesting. One of my voice professors at USC went to Africa for a while. I was working, and he's a voice professor, but he working with indigenous tribes, and in their culture, everything is you interact with the screen, and you interact with people. If you're getting a speech or somebody, a chief is saying something, they vocalize. And in our culture, when we sit in the theater, usually we're told to be quiet and watch, and it's a one-way participation. But with horror, you're reacting to it, so it's a communal sort of like give and take.
Yeah.
You know, so it's fun.
But for Insidious, I mean, usually we consider a trilogy as a success, but we're on to the fourth film, and this is much more than a success. What do you think is the secret to why people love this franchise so much and they just want more and more?
I don't know. I mean, I can never quite work out why an audience responds to something. It's still all guesswork. I could take a stab at it and say that the films are scary. I mean, horror films are very functional. They're like comedies. You know, with a comedy, you need to deliver on the laughs. You know, if you do that, you've done your job. And a horror film is very similar. If the film scares the hell out of people, unnerves them, unsettles them, you've done your job. And so the success of the Insidious film leads me to believe that there's a group of people that find them really scary. Otherwise, they wouldn't watch them. I also think people respond to Lynn's character. You know, Lynn Shay's such a warm person, and her character is so eccentric but giving, and you know that's what really keeps franchises going. If you look at the James Bond movies, people wouldn't keep returning to them time and time again if they didn't love that character of James Bond. You know, he's the one steering people into the movie theatre. It's not planes blowing up or cars driving off a cliff. It's the character of James Bond. And so I'd like to think with the Insidious movies that Lynn Shay's character of Elise has something to do with audiences loving it.
Yeah, I think Leigh is modest, but I think they created he and James with part one, and also like I look back and you think about like what was our version was probably Poltergeist, you know, and for this generation, I feel like Insidious, it taps into that kind of Amblin. It's entertaining, it's scary, but it has a heart, and they're fun to watch. They're not, you know, it's not super bleak. You leave the theater feeling good. You don't feel like you went to a super dark place, you know. And so I think some of that fun, and you always say it's like a family drama. Usually, it's about family, and what these events do to a family unit.
Was there an evolution of Keyface throughout the entire production and process or writing when you first initially came up with the concept of Keyface? And secondly, how does Keyface pick his nose?
Well, his
you
nose
were waiting on that for that one.
His nose is really a keyhole, so I guess he slots one of the keys in there.
Yeah, it's like this. Just basically full on fists his face.
That's incredible. Well, for me, I remember writing the character very simply. A lot simpler in its presentation than what was in the finished movie. You know, it was essentially just a guy in a suit with these key hands. But then when Adam came into it and he was working with the effects designers, there was an evolution there, and he brought a lot of, a garish quality to this character and a more theatrical quality to it, where there was a lot of makeup and stuff. And so, you know, Adam was the director, and I went with that, and it was interesting to watch that evolution. You know.
Yeah, I was just leaning a little bit more on the fantasy side, you know, and I think in terms of like the evolution of it, I mean, initially there was, I mean, it was early drafts without a demon. I think it was very grounded and very psychological, and I think through the course of discussion in terms of like the themes of the piece, the idea of like a demon, you know, because initially it was Dad, I feel like, that had, it was the dad that was the demon, basically the villain, right, in earlier drafts. And so through the conversations, I think this idea of like, you know, Insidious, you need an entity, you need something that sort of embodies like what the piece is about. And so this idea of, and you know, whether or not he, because we ended up, and the other thing I kept saying was like, you need because Elise is basically a superhero, you need something that's formidable, right? Like, it's one thing to see Superman fighting Lex Luthor. It's another thing to have General Zod come down, and you know, because then there's parody, and so it was important to me to have a demon who scared her.
Absolutely, and just one quick thing. The one thing that you left out was the Hunter Ninja Bear out of the thing.
Yeah, right.
Can we do that real fast?
Hunter Ninja Bear. It's
Yeah.
been a while since I've played this.
Okay.
So
how
you're,
do you do it?
you're supposed to. So it's like Hunter Ninja Bear, right? And we do it together. And so we say it at the same time, and then we strike a pose. Okay. So hang on. Hunter beats Bear. Bear beats Ninja. Ninja beats Hunter. That's how it goes. So all right. So now, but we have to say it at the same time. Okay, ready? Hunter Ninja Bear. You win.
You won.
Oh, you didn't play it.
Well, game
Well, it's two. Yeah, it's really two.
You know.
Oh, got it. Hey, well, thank you very much.
Speaking of Hunter Ninja Bear.
That's right. Hey, thank you. That's my highlight.
That's the highlight.
Thank you.
Wait, so who beats who again?
Hunter beats Bear.
Yeah, Ninja beats Hunter.
Bear beats Ninja. Ninja beats Hunter.
Okay. That's great. Actually, that's gonna be pretty genius.
Yeah. Well,
We should be playing it right now. Ready? Ready? Hunter Ninja Bear. No, you got to do it at the end. You gotta, okay, ready? So you got to say it, and then you. Okay, so here you go.
So Hunter Ninja.
You go Hunter Ninja Bear.
And then you do it. Okay.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
Hunter Ninja Bear. Ah, I win. Good times.
good times.
Oh,
Thank you.
man.
That's just wrong. I mean, we're silly people.
Thank you very much.
Take care.